Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Bento channel, where we're going to be talking about live. I think it's the first time I've ever talked about a Webtoon live. Which is also the second time I've ever talked about a Webtoon with anyone, but that's against the point. We're here to talk about Unordinary, the Season 2 premiere, with my special co-host, who will hopefully be joining me unless he dies from mysterious deaths. Like, why would that happen? Introduce yourself.
I am Anime Uprise. How's it going? No, I won't die though.
Okay. That's good. That's good. So, if you don't know, I decided to cover Webtoons pretty much weekly, and I wanted to do an Unordinary podcast sort of thing because I realized the videos I was doing solo weren't very good. So I decided, stick to what I do best. This is the podcast channel. This is the channel where I go live like every day or something. So why not just continue the trend? And so I turned the Unordinary videos that I was doing into a podcast with Anime Uprise, who I recently did a video with.
Yeah.
So, how knowledgeable are you on Unordinary?
I've read every chapter 3 times. I read the series 3 times already.
Well, there you go. There you go. Haven't even reread it once.
For the earlier video, I reread it before we did the video for my channel.
Well, there you go. And if you're wondering, hey, there's no like visuals accompanied with this, and that's just because it's a Webtoon. Wow. There's so few like screenshots and stuff. There's no reason to like. It's just gonna be this. I think this is fine. This is just gonna be a very humble podcast.
And it's a podcast. You don't need visuals.
Yeah, that too as well. So before we began, you were just chomping at the bit to talk. Is that the expression?
Chomping at the bit. Never heard of that.
I don't know. You were very excited. I probably should have went with excited to talk about Seraphina. So I'm gonna let you take it away because we saw a lot of stuff with Seraphina in this chapter. Episode
156. Season 2. Anyway, so with Seraphina, that's what I want to talk about is her kind of being mentally messed up. And like, because she's been lied to the entire series from John. Like, he was supposed to be a cripple, at least in her mind. But then as soon as she found out, you've seen her in bed, right? She's just there.
Yeah.
Like, not even getting up. She's just sitting down, contemplating life.
Yeah, she's sitting there and she's just like really like distraught, just not like happy. She's obviously hasn't had much sleep, as you can see from the thumbnail and the visuals for this podcast. She looks really angry and like disappointed and pissed off, and as well really sad. Just generally all around, not the kind of Seraphina you would want to mess with.
Emotionally messed up.
Yeah.
And like, even when she sees John too, you see the blacking out of his face kind of thing when she sees him, and you see it like kind of go darker when he was reading it. When we were reading it, when Seraphina was looking at him, it was kind of darker when he was saying it, along with his regular black speech bubbles too. But she doesn't want to see him, and I'm not sure when she's going to confront John, which I'm excited for.
Yes, she did not confront him in this episode about it. She was basically just like, get out, leave. I don't want to talk to you. And John was like, God, what did I do? I just walked in, and I was trying to be your friend. And Seraphina was just like, no, no, we're not doing this. Please leave. And she tries to like use her powers as well. Then she decides to take it out on her poor pillow, who didn't deserve it.
The pillow Chan, no. But like, yeah, like John's just like, I didn't do anything wrong. I only beat up all your friends. Like, that's all he did. God. Nothing big.
Nothing big. He just beat up all of his, her friends with like an inch of their life. So it's nothing bad. He's just, the king now, and whatever.
The Shadow King.
Yeah, the Shadow King. Which is very interesting. I do wonder how John is going to be able to use his powers, because we saw in the near the ending of the last season him starting to like kind of like figure this stuff out, how he's going to go about it. I think at some point he's just going to have to eventually just like he's going to have to like be revealed as the king. And once that happens, I think maybe there's a possibility of a repeat situation where he goes on a rampage again.
Oh yeah, I can see that. I was gonna talk about that too. I can see him like going on another rampage and kind of probably getting expelled again. Maybe like I don't think so, because like the president or like the chairman. There you go. That's the right word.
Yeah.
Seems to be wanting to use John for some sort of change, but we don't have a clue yet, because he's a man, I don't remember the name for that. He's a late bloomer. Yeah, there you go. He's a late bloomer. He wants to use his new mindset about that.
Yeah. And that is going to be interesting, because maybe the chairman will start to set up these obstacles and these things to stop people from gaining access to the truth, or even ever believing the truth in the first place. Could be interesting.
Or maybe even like trying to change their mindset and like go against like the overall hierarchy, like, or like agreeing with John. That's pretty far-fetched, but I think that would be cool, like the reverse, like kind of go against the world type of thing.
Right.
I think that'd be cool, but it's just a theory on my part.
No, it's really interesting, actually, the things they set up in this episode. I think a lot of it, is definitely about Serafina in this episode, but I also think as well there's just so much stuff that, based off our previous knowledge of the first season and what we know about John, and now what we know from this information in this episode, I think there's going to be tons and tons of like interesting and forks of the road they can go through to get to this, whatever this desired ending is, which I don't know what it is, but I think John's got to be punched in the dick eventually.
Well, definitely, but I'm going to be completely honest here. I actually like John.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. So
well, I agree, though. He's still an asshole, but I do like John.
No, I like
want to
John
see him
well.
succeed.
Oh, wait. Okay, so that's... Okay,
I want to see him succeed. Yeah, that's just what I'm saying here.
So why do you say that?
Mainly because, like, I can see where he's coming from. Like, he was messed with in the past, and I think he wants to get back up to where he was, but maybe taking things a little differently. And I also think he's not the same as he was back then. Like, I think he's violent still, but I think he might not go crazy.
That is an understatement of the century. He is violent still.
I can't. Kind of like what? Do I have a reason why I like John? I'm just trying to.
I love John. I think he's a character that just promotes a lot of chaos and just fucks with everything. He's chaotic. He's chaotic evil, I would say. I wouldn't even say he's neutral or chaotic good, because he doesn't have traits that really make him good. He just wants everybody to treat him normal. We haven't really seen much of him like truly change.
I don't know about chaotic evil. I think he's more neutral, because like John was forced to kind of act by Arlo, so I think he's more the neutral than evil.
He was forced into that position, and
just don't provoke John.
But I think he took it way too far. I think he took it into a realm that he never had to take it into. And not only that, based off, what Remy and Arlo have told him, I agree with Remy and Arlo and them saying that, hey, he should have, from the very beginning, should have been protecting people and using his power for good, because that's the mark of a true person that wants to do something for good. What John wants is just the people to leave him alone and treat him like normal, but he won't. He has this power to make a change, and yet he won't do it, and he complains to these other people like, you have to do this, but he could just do it himself.
Well, I think a part of that is from his psychological torturing from the Keon.
Yes, which we haven't seen that yet. So that may add like a little bit of a I don't know, some kind of relatability to his position. Or
speaking of Keon,
yes,
they're probably going to bring him back into maybe to school John once more. I can see that happening again. I can honestly see that's happening again if he goes on to the outburst. Like, he's on his last warning, so if he goes on again like that, he'll probably get sent back to the torture chamber.
Here's the thing, though. If they do call him on John, we saw that even he had trouble dealing with John because he's just so freaking good and powerful. And now have to like him age a little bit as well, get a little bit older and a little bit more powerful. Now, I mean, would he make a difference?
Oh yeah, that's saying something though. I think okay, yeah, I take that back. I think Serafina has to be the one that changed John, or at least something like that. I think Serafina will probably come in and either change John or just kick his ass and humble him.
Yeah. I think he's gonna have to kick him right square in the nuts, and then John's gonna keel over and die, and Serafina wins.
Well, I don't want him to die though.
You know what? You bring up a good point, which is actually funny because how do you think? Because as of this chapter, Serafina is just completely without her powers still. So what are your theories on how they are going to get her powers back?
Well, I think her sister's going to come into play because, the doc asked her to help him with the situation with Serafina. I think her sister's going to come into play with her little small company. Because I said this in my video too, but I said next gen, which is not true. She's not a part of next gen. I got mixed up. She has her own little company. And I think they're going to come in and help Serafina. In which case, Serafina might come back in and take the school.
Well, if you remember, they also talked about how there's things that suppress powers, but there's also amplifiers.
Oh yeah, the amplifiers and the suppressors. Yeah, I mean, well, can you amplify nothing though?
It is true. That's interesting because could they take just a regular person and amplify them? I think with Serafina, since she is a natural person who has a power, I think it would just come back. Like that would be the most logical thing. Like if you take something that is in the negative that went from a positive to a negative, it's going to have like a positive again, I guess. That's probably a really bad analogy.
Well, I can probably see them doing that, but I would like to further the plot with Ember and like the organizations. I think her sister might be more plausible because of that, because they probably want to get into the Ember stuff and the next gen, so they can progress the plot with all that.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's one avenue that they're absolutely going to go down. I think that makes the most sense.
As a story perspective.
Yeah, for sure. The way I think it's going to end is very similar to you. I just think that Serafina's going to get her powers back, and they're probably going to use something like a suppressor on John somehow. Or at least one of John's lackeys or something like that. Because he may have like a total crew by then.
I still don't want John to get... I want John to be OP still. I still like John. See, I'm the guy who rooted for Light in Death Note, so...
I mean, there is a bit of entertainment of John walking around and punching people. Like, he just walked up and punched that girl who pushed Serafina down the stairs, and I was like, oh my god, this is like one of the greatest moments of all time.
Hype!
Because, as we've established... between me and you, but not the viewer yet, you don't hit Serafina. That's just that ain't cool, man.
If you hit Serafina, you'll be added to the hit list.
Exactly. So, either herself or John will deal with it. You don't want John to deal with it. I want
Serafina. Yeah, John would just... He takes it too far. Like Serafina would probably give you like a warning. Or maybe beat you up if you push it.
John would break limbs.
Yeah, he would just go straight up, put on his Joker mask, and just go in.
Or if he's feeling like extra mean, he's gonna put on the Tuesday bag.
Oh yeah, bring back the Tuesday. That's what I actually want. Screw Joker. Where's Tuesday? He's the real hero.
Oh my. Yeah. In this chapter as well, we got to see Elaine again, who was not happy to see John back, and because John immediately caught on to Seraphina, not being very happy at John, and John was like,
"Oh wait,
you didn't tell her anything, did you? If you did, I'm actually going to murder you." And Elaine's like, I don't know. Definitely didn't.
It was more of Arlo and his friend.
But what did you think about this interaction between Elaine and John? Because I thought it was just
any old interaction, and that's usually how the Elaine and go with John. He's like, "Did you say anything?" He always just checks or like heal somebody. It's always like a 2-word conversation kind of thing. It's very simple. It's more demands.
Yeah.
Straight old Elaine and John interaction.
And on the off chance that it isn't just like John reaffirming things, it's John saying, "Don't say anything." Yeah. Or I'm gonna hurt you really good.
You're going to die.
But yeah.
And then there's the ending with Arlo and his crew.
Yeah.
Which, what they're doing? That's what I want to know. I'm not sure what they're doing. Probably going to see Elaine. Probably, maybe.
Yeah. We see Arlo and Ison. I imagine they're gonna go see,
or Seraphina. Yeah, there you go. No, Seraphina, because they probably know he knows or something like that.
Were they at a hospital? Where were they at? Because they said room 403.
They went to a hospital.
Because it looks like a hospital.
Oh, wait a second. Never mind. They didn't go to a hospital.
Yeah, because they were checking in.
Maybe they're going to see Remy.
That's what I was thinking. And if they're going to go see Remy, I just don't want to see her all beat up. She's all bright and happy and stuff.
Now she's just... Okay, actually, here's another theory. I think Remy's probably going to make up another plan to go after John one more time. Just thinking how her character is. She's a hero. Literally a superhero. I think she wants to probably go after John again. Yeah. I could see it happening.
I could see that as well. I could see her definitely, the next chapter they're sitting down in the hospital room, and Remy's like, I figured it out. Like, I know a new game plan to tackle him now. To which I think is, if it does go through, I think it would be another feudal battle, but I don't think it would be as, smashing Remy's head into the ground repeatedly. I don't think it would be that bad. I think maybe somebody would interfere or something like that, or
Seraphina gets a bullshit power up. Just kidding.
you just they're in the middle of fighting, you just hear in the background. Everybody's like, what is that sound? And it's getting closer, and they turn over, and Seraphina's is like Super
Blake would
Saiyan.
know.
Oh yeah, Blake would know. Blake would be like, I know that sound, guys.
It's okay now, guys. Things are gonna go down.
Someone just went Super Saiyan. Yeah,
but
that's gonna be
I think that's about all I could talk about. This chapter was more of a setup chapter than anything else.
Yeah, it was really like, hey, we're back.
Yeah, we're back. It's still, the tone is dark and edgy because John took over.
Yeah. Do you imagine John talks differently when he's got his goober haircut, and then when he's got his anime pro tag haircut with the black text bubbles?
He's probably just like, when he's in his regular form, he's probably like, "Hey guys, how's it going?" Real light voice. Then when he's freaking in his evil form, he's probably like, "Well, get out of the way or you'll die." It's real deep.
I'm gonna kill every single one of you.
The Batman voice.
No. Oh my god. It's Adam Driver from Star Wars when he's got his helmet on and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And it's got that weird voice effect changer. That's what I imagine it sounds like. That's what I wanted to sound like. He just has like a voice changer. None of the characters are actually like, talking about it. They're just ignoring it.
Hey, anime studios, you gotta get on this.
Hey, that is true. Crunchyroll is doing a bunch of adaptations of a bunch of webtoons. This is probably going to be the first one they're adapting. You know how much they love My Hero Academia.
Yeah, this will be it too.
This would be their My Hero Academia. Would you imagine if this actually caught on in the States? Which it's on Webtoon. It most definitely has.
It's gonna be. It'll be. In my opinion, it'll be better than My Academia. It's in my opinion.
I love this way more than My Hero Academia. I also agree. Not that My Hero Academia is bad, because it's very popular to say the things that are popular, that they aren't actually good. Everybody hates them, or everybody likes them, and you're the only one who hates them, or whatever. But
I'm neutral with My Academia.
I'm very neutral with My Hero Academia. You can go watch a couple of reviews I did for it. I gave them positive reviews, both of them, and I enjoyed them when I watched. But it's really bland, and this is like kind of fits that same kind of like group as My Hero Academia, but it isn't bland.
Yeah, it's colorful. Like literally, it's colorful.
Yeah, it's fun. Like it's really fun. It's the characters are fun and interesting. They're easily endearable to. So I just think this one's going to be like the very first one, if not the first one, the second one they announce. And it's going to have a massive budget.
You better have a massive budget. Like, dude, this is like the only webtoon I really desire to have an anime. And maybe Sweet Home too, or Dice, but that's probably not going to get one.
Remember when they, like, Crunchyroll announced that they were making an animation, or like an anime, but it was just like a cartoon or whatever?
Oh yeah, that way back when with the pink haired, I don't even know what it's called.
But... Yeah, everybody got really outraged about that. Imagine if they just waited and they were like, we're just partnering with Webtoons. Dude,
that would have been great if they did that. Like, it's going to get positive reviews when they did the Webtoon stuff. It's going to get positive stuff, especially for me.
Unless they fuck it up, but I don't think they will.
It'll be pretty hard to fuck up Unordinary.
It would. They would have to do something weird with the animation, which... Do you think it's going to be a Japanese studio? Do you think it's going to be... I think it's going to be Western studios.
It's probably going to be Western studios. If they're doing it in the States, it's probably going to be Western.
Yeah,
if only I would like to have it with a Japanese studio, just for the art style and stuff.
What if they just announced Kyoto Animation? Unordinary.
I would be really happy, but a little bit worried too, since Kyoto Anime doesn't have the...
Oh, okay. It's more of a... Yeah, you're right. They're a slice of life, cute girls doing cute things kind of thing.
Like, good, look good.
Madhouse.
Yeah, that I love Madhouse. Son of Unordinary. That would be just amazing. Or Bones too. Bones would be good too, but Madhouse is definitely preferable.
Studio Ghibli presents Unordinary.
That would be weird. Just see them in the Ghibli style. I just seeing Evil John in freaking Ghibli style.
You see an interview of Hayao Miyazaki, and the interview the whole time is him like straight face just saying, I fucking hate every one of these characters. They're a mistake. I bet they all have stupid phones. They need to stop having fun. They don't understand anything. Suffer. Just fucking boomer Hayao Miyazaki.
Yeah, he's a boomer.
Creating Unordinary. Bunch of teenagers with superpowers. That'd be awesome. Yeah. He would have a stroke and die like immediately.
Oh. Well, what else is it? Do you have anything else to talk about this chapter?
Let me see. Let me just scroll through. I don't think there is. I think we pretty much went over everything. Did we talk about Seraphina's like actual thoughts about John and how she feels betrayed and stuff?
Yeah, her feelings and like how she's like all. Wait, I don't think we got in depth with it though.
Oh yeah. So she definitely feels like very betrayed and stuff like that. Because she's been
friends with him. I think
she says like she's been sitting around all day and stuff, and she's just always been. She's telling herself all the time that she would get her powers back, and that she's just been lying to herself. But now she has to do something. She has to think of something to do and stop,
And like she says, she's like always been living in a delusion, like been living in a delusion, and like how he actually had powers the entire time and all that stuff.
Right. And I like how as well she kind of confirms a little bit that she had her suspicions. She thought it was this guy's too good to be true, to be this good at fighting, to be the way he is, and not just give up like any normal person would.
Yeah, to be fair on John though, his actual fighting skills are still good without his powers.
Yeah, I mean, Sasuke the Savage said it best. Without powers, John is still a problem.
Yeah.
Like he needed a lot of people to hold him down.
Like even if he didn't have any powers, like if it was just Cripples versus John, he'd still probably have a good chance of winning.
Yeah.
Unless he's like a big buff man there, and then a JoJo's character comes out of nowhere.
John is just like Jotaro.
What if John stole a stand power? Dude, that'd be cool.
Mike, yes! Oh my god! That's like really interesting. What would happen if John took the ability of a stand user? Because he can also amplify it, so he can take anything.
That'd be too OP. That'd just be way too OP.
Which I think is what John's ability is. It's just, hey, you're OP. Congratulations.
No, I'm OP. You're OP. No, I'm OP. You gonna share?
but so yeah, Seraphina, she's basically at this point of like, it's time to stop sitting around. It's actually time to do something, which I like.
She's gonna go to the gym. Just kidding.
Just the next episode, just a training montage.
That's training music. Imagine she put that in the actual webtoon. That'd be legendary.
Oh my god, Uru-chan, get on it. Make it happen. I know you're watching this podcast. Everybody does. This is the world famous Unordinary podcast, after all.
Everyone's watching this. 1 million views instantly.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, who wouldn't be watching this? But yeah, I guess with all that being said, where can they find you, Anime Uprise?
They can find me at Anime Uprise, the red one on YouTube, because there's two. One says please subscribe to my other channel, and then there's the one I have now, Anime Uprise with the cooler avatar.
Yeah. Anime Uprise version 2.0.
Maybe 4.0, because I have a whole bunch of art this month.
Version 72. We're actually not even counting at this point.
And you can also find me on Twitter with Anime Uprise, basically everywhere, because no one took Anime Uprise. It is good.
Maybe it's because people stop and they're like, Anime Uproar's taken, but you're like, no, one step further.
I didn't even know he was a thing back when I made my channel name.
I'm the real Anime Uproar.
You know what's funny? Every time I search up my name on YouTube, it says Anime Surprise.
Anime Uproar will be so mad to see that my channel is actually named Anime Surprise.
Yeah.
Any other places they can find you?
They can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Anime Uprise, and yeah, that's it.
There you go. Check him out. He'll be back here next week to talk about the next chapter of the episode of Unordinary with me.
I can't wait to talk about the episode.
As for me, of course, you can find me here on the Bento channel, where I just do podcasts. That's just what I do. I do podcasts. I have a Fate Grand Order podcast where I'm talking about Absolute Demonic Front, Babylonia with another one of my viewers, Malice in Wonderland. And as well, we have the Fruits Basket 2001 podcast, which you'll have to go to Twitter if you want to see when the next podcasts for that are announced, because we're kind of, it's not a weekly thing. It's just happening whenever we can do it. So
you're the podcast man.
Yeah, I've got On this channel alone, this is my third one.
Wow, and like 2 of them are weekly?
Yeah.
You're a busy guy.
Then I have the King of Anime podcast, which is my fourth one.
And you're not even full time. Damn, that's crazy.
Not even full time. I
Dedication.
It's definitely scheduling. Oh yes, I missed too much. Points out. Don't forget Inverted Aim. That's my fifth one. And I guess if we're gonna start counting on my podcast, the Dicks Out podcast, sixth one. Games Out podcast, seventh.
Oh wow. Okay.
Renegade podcast, eighth. Listen, I do podcasts. Okay, I do podcasts.
You get around.
I get around. I know many people.
Those connections.
I did a podcast about Fate Heaven's Feel 1. That was like a one-time thing. Anyways, yes. See you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.